Okay, I'm live. Pretty good. I didn't check any of my settings. Just making the assumption that everything worked. Nope, microphone, not now. There we go. I think that's working. I don't know. I was wondering why it was acting funny. Okay. So, hi guys. If anybody's even going to be here to hang out, I know it's like a random Thursday night live stream, but it is what it is. What is going on down here? Okay, that's correct. That's right. Okay. So, yay. I'm just going to wait and see if people show up, to be totally honest. And, I pop that out. And now I done screwed things up. Now I go back to the thing like this. Okay. It's always fun just trying to get things set up here. But basically, I was going to go over the questions that people left on my post the other day, and then also maybe address some things in the just normal comment section of videos, just so I don't have to type replies. So, hi guys. Once again, it's Thursday. How are you doing? I'll just wait a few minutes because there's only like a 15-minute thing, so nobody knew. I've been really light on content this week. I've been kind of lazy, kind of not feeling good. Hadn't been sleeping very well, and then took a very long nap yesterday along with actually getting some sleep. So today actually was somewhat productive, working on the second mini TOLF and the mini TOLF review, which will be uploaded tonight and be up first thing for tomorrow for anybody who wants to know about the mini TOLF. So hi. And of course, guys, I'll take live comments as well and questions if you're over there doing the thing in the chat section. Now I'm going to go through the ones that I've got here first, and then I'll check the chat. So hi guys. I see a Sarah Lee. I see a Colton Herrick. And any of my usuals who come and hang out with me, if you're not doing anything and you want to join in on the stream, maybe answer some of these questions yourself, talking to you, Eric, or maybe even Thomas if he's available, or Joe Guns if he's available. Just kind of a hangout, because some of these questions aren't specific to me. They're very kind of generic questions. I don't know. Joey's probably eating dinner or something like that. I don't know. It's a random Thursday night. I got nothing better to do, so I figured I'd come do this. I thought I had shrunk that to a point that I could read it. I did. It's over there. No wonder I couldn't find it. I'm dumb sometimes. I was like, I thought I had popped that window out for chats. I get to interact. You can if you want to, because some of these are like Gundam specific questions and also building questions. So if you want to join in, Eric, I can send you the link, and if you get yourself set up. Yeah, you can do that anytime. Picking pictures. I haven't got to really hang out or talk to anybody in a little while, so that's why I was doing the thing. But either way, I'll start off with some just regular questions. Let me see if I can. Can I screen share this properly? I might be able to. Hold on. I don't know which one's which. I guess it doesn't matter. Okay. So these are questions and or comments, obviously. I don't know. Where's this? Okay. So let me, once again, okay, over here. This one is on the Celtam and Celtam, or I'm sorry, the Tertium and Celtam arms. Beam sabers are stored in Celtam arms mega cannons. It's the inner side of the shield. I never saw that. in the instructions. So if that is where it goes, cool. On the DX9 Dark Dinobot set, what size are the fist holes? I have no idea. They're that big. You can't even see because I don't have the camera up. Hold on. Let me. Whoa, they're that big. For whoever asked the question, I think that's maybe like 2 mil, if that. I don't have my calipers handy while playing some Battle Operation 2. Fine, Eric, don't come hang out. Sorry, that was kind of an inward hiccup. Let's see, where else are we? Okay. Iron the Cape. Okay, yeah, so on the Crossbone, way old MG Crossbone review, I had a problem with my cape. I tried to sand it to rough it up a little bit and soften the edges, and it ended up curling. And this guy said he ironed the cape, and it turned out well. I'd be scared to iron something that's like pure polyester for fear that it might melt. So I'm really not concerned about it. Mine doesn't even wear it. He's got it draped over his shoulder. Gold Cat on the Darknet review. That's one funky little spider. Yes, the Darknet is a funky little spider. It's actually a very fun little thing from 52 Toys. Is he still out, or did I put him up? I put him up. Okay, I was gonna play with him for a minute. Obviously, guys, if you're chatting, I can't see. Nobody's saying anything. Okay, what else? What else we got here? Let's see. Brian Nessin. I said F the screws and just added a bit of clear coat on the joints. Trust me, do this and the headache will be reduced. So that's on the old school Goof Custom MG, where you have to, screw the joints together and stuff. I'll get to those questions soon, obviously. I've heard it pronounced Tyrian Tautsu. Okay. Although the funny thing is, typing it out doesn't do me any good to learn the pronunciation, obviously. Of course, Androius. If you like the MG Rezel, I recommend MG Zeta plus C1. I was already looking at that one a long time ago. True Math Production Zeta. It's an old kit. That's the true. Okay. Should be cheap also. I've seen it. I actually wanted to get it way back in the day. I just never did. Zeta A+1. Also looked at that too. I've been looking at Zeta style kits for a long time. I've just never pulled the trigger until now for the resale. I think that's Caven R. Wanted to know, the Scheherazade backpack Total Midas Arms is compatible with the original CeraVe? Work on your questioning things. But I don't recall if you could technically work. I think the backpack is a little bit different for the Scheherazade. Actually, I know it's very different. Where is Scheherazade? Down here. If I can get to it, I got stuff in the way. I know I have a light that fell off again. I think, if I remember correctly, oh no, I'm looking at it. I'm not sure. Okay, so there's the normal. I said normal CeraVe. Can I get to the regular CeraVe from where I'm at? Yeah, I can, sort of. Scared too, but I can. Sorry if you guys can't hear me very well. Okay, so that's the sound of crushing stuff. I have the next kits I was going to build on the floor, because that's where you keep stuff you're going to work on, right? Okay, so let's just go back here. Resale's more related to the Metis than the Zeta. I don't care, Joey. Okay. So there's the style of plug for the regular CeraVe, and this is the style plug for Scheherazade. So I mean, no, not even close. Superiorly different backpack holes. I mean, it looks similar, but very, very different. So that's a no. If you wanted it to fit on your classic CeraVe, you would have to switch out for this or have some kind of adapter. But I mean, if you have one of these, you could do it. But if you're trying to buy the Ptolemaeus arms to fit, it just wouldn't. Now you could fit one of these to the Scheherazade, I believe, using the standard backpack. Like I think, or back of the chest rather. Spare account. Hello. Okay, so still answering questions. Go back to screen share. Okay. I don't know if you guys can actually see that, but it's just something for you to look at other than just my face. That's not that one. Okay. Astronopolis, you did a good job with the kit review. However, I disagree with your assessment, and this is on the Full Metal Panic Gernsback. It's an old-ish review. Back when I was still doing the triangle. Series of kits between HG and RG has a ton of detail where the Origin kits and up there with Origin kits and better. Personally, I think the price is justified and appreciate the more realistic military boringness of Super Robot. I didn't say it was bad. I just said it's not worth the price. Obviously, it's got nice engineering and stuff like that. The color separation is next to nothing because it's just gray on top of gray. The weapons are pretty cool, and I think mine has actually gotten really loose over time, but it's not a bad kit, and I probably would have got more into the line. I just didn't have anywhere to really go with it, you know? Let's see here. What else we got? I got the Master Grade, the old 100 HG. I'll stick with them money-wise, so that's on the P Bandai Heavy Arms. Yeah, I get that people wouldn't want to buy that at such a high cost, but it was good. It was worth it. Just Travis Armstrong saying hi on the Rezil transformation. Oh, there was a comment on that video that was pretty rude, and then it disappeared. I didn't take it down, so I don't know if it was taken down or they deleted it themselves, but yeah, it was basically like maybe you need to practice the transformation more before you try to show it to us. Like if you want to look more professional or something along those lines. And to address things like that, if you ever wonder why I do transformations on screen and fumble through with it and don't edit all the stuff out, it's because I'm a human being. I'm handling this thing the same way you would. And if I show you a perfect transformation with no fumbles and potentially a lot of edits to make sure that I cut out any of the mistakes I'm making, then that doesn't really do you guys any good. Because that's not necessarily going to be your experience. If I show it absolutely perfect in one go, you're going to be like, well, I struggled with this. I struggled with this. I struggled with this. I missed this. You didn't. How did I miss that? So for me, on my side of the camera, it makes more sense to transform something with a little bit of experience. Like when I do my Transformers reviews, I usually play with those. In the case of the Rezil, that's something I'm not going to transform hardly ever, if at all, from now on, because it's going to get floppier. It's going to get harder to handle. Things are going to get worse. So that was literally the second only transformation I did on it, because if I'd done it 5 or 6 times prior to this, it probably would have been a terrible floppy mess in comparison. It's not like a transformer that's meant to hold up to being transformed multiple times. It's just going to be harder to deal with. So that's why I don't rehearse certain transformations a lot. But like I said, that comment disappeared, so I'm not too concerned with it. Okay. What else we got here? And yes, Androius commented, derived from the Mythos. Yeah, it shows it, like, I guess that's the Mythos way over here, and it shows a line, but then it shows all the other stuff along the way, and then sort of attributing to the development of. So that's why I say those things like that. And that's Happy Mother's Day thing. Okay, so that's the bottom of like normal comments and stuff. So I'm gonna turn off screen sharing for the time being. And I was inviting the Joey to come in and hang out. And once again, guys, if you're in the chat and you have any questions that aren't specifically about Gundam, but like just stuff in general, by all means. And like I said, I'm going to go over the actual Q&A questions. No, I was thinking about pulling them up on my phone, make my life easier so I don't have to keep switching screens. Actually, you know what? I have that over here. Over here. Is that the right thing? No. And then there's this whole discussion about the DX9 Dinobot set being the shattered glass ones. And I said that in the review, I don't think they're meant to represent the shattered glass ones. The Grimlock is similar to the, what was it, BotCon from like many years ago that was based off the Classics Grimlock, which was colored to be like Trypticon. But the color is, I looked that one up, and the colorization is not really that close to that. So that's why I said I don't think they're really shattered glass. And there's no other Dinobots from that set, or so to speak. They're more similar to that other Grimlock, like the movie Grimlock color scheme that I pulled up, completely in the wrong spot. I had a bad edit fail in that video, and it pisses me off, but it's not worth redoing. Arturo, good thing you're here, because I was going to go over your question really soon here. Judson Osgood, how goes it? Okay, so close that, leave this up, and I can address the comments. Okay. Just doing the thingy. Jeremy Osha, how's it going? It's going. I've already addressed a whole bunch of comments. Not really questions, just comments. So I figured more people would show up about 20 minutes in. Sorry, Joey is messaging me. Says he's kind of got a movie night planned with your girlfriend. That's cool. Like I said, I know it's a random Thursday night dealie. Don't hit that button again. Sometimes you got to be wary of where you're putting the thing. So like I said, guys, I'm going to kind of be doing a Q&A thing. I'm feeling very... I'm used to sharing the screen with Rodimus. And yeah, we're going to be doing the live stream thing for last week's episode of Divers on Sunday. Oh, crap. That's assuming that the stuff I have to do Sunday is done in time. I just thought about that being a potential problem. It just depends on the weather. Because I'm selling my old car, hopefully, on Sunday, like my old car. Hopefully that'll be earlier in the day and I can still get home to do the thing. But we're expecting some pretty nasty weather. So, any idea of when and if Space Cadets are going to host build nights again? I don't think that's going to be for a while, Eric. They're doing like game nights via Zoom, and I thought they were going to try to set up doing build nights that way too, but I never heard back from Brian about it. So obviously, due to the beer flu, most places are not hosting events currently. But, you know, restrictions be damned, apparently. In some cases, restrictions be damned, despite the fact, you know, more and more cases every day. It is what it is. I don't want to get off on that. What inspired the mini Tolf? You'll find out tomorrow, Ben R. I go over that. Here we go. Trying to reposition the camera. Curl. So, but how are you guys doing? Tell me how you're doing before I get into my stuff. We always talk about what I'm doing and how I'm feeling and the things I'm going through. What's going on with you guys? And of course, if any of the questions that I bring up apply to you and you'd want to answer in the chat, by all means. Did you get the Uraven? It's not out yet. At least not here. I will get the Uraven. It just hasn't come out yet. No, I got the regular Earth 3 so that I can compare to the Alice Earth 3 when it comes out as well. Good at the moment. Building MG00. Good, man. I assume you mean the 00 riser. It'd be so dumb if they sold the MG00 by itself with nothing. Practicing hand painting, that sucks. Oh, by the way, before I really get into it, MS100 content ends really soon, or at least for submissions. I need to start going over the submissions. I've looked at a lot of the ones that have come in. I have not judged anybody so far. I do know that a couple more came in the last week or so. That's awesome. Thanks, guys. I also know that there's been massive delays on merchandise. So if you bought stuff and you're still waiting, so am I. It's the first notice that the shirt I ordered is being printed in another country instead of at least here. So last I checked, it was somewhere. I don't even check. I knew they used DHL, but like I think I'm gonna switch from Teespring. I really don't dig them anymore. They were turning out like the most profit per unit, but there's so much hassle. There's so many things that just don't go right with them. Their designer software kind of sucks, things like that. So I'm probably going to get rid of Teespring. Which one is the best Destiny kit to get? There's only one Destiny kit to get, and it's the big one. If you can get the full burst, if that's what it's called, or extreme blast, whichever one I always forget between that or the other one. Just get that one. It comes with the good coding stuff. I enjoyed the HG Destiny. You don't like hand painting? I've done plenty of hand painting, Arturo. It just sucks. Make me a mini tough. I'm willing to pay you. You got to get in line, Judd. I've already got orders for a couple of them, so to speak. There's Rodimus 13. I didn't send him a message because I figured he was working on his comic. He's behind on things. So I was going to say, if you wanted to join in and answer some questions, if you got time, by all means, I'll shoot you a link, buddy. Waiting on thinner, wanting to try the Mr. Crystal colors I got. The Mr. Crystals are pretty neat. Mr. Color crystals. Haven't really played with those just yet. I've got some of their clears, but not like that. Okay, so I'm going to go into the other questions real quick here. Is there going to be a mini Billy shelf? I don't want to answer that. When the latest episode of Build Divers Re-Rise will air? No clue. There's no clue. They said it was going to be episode 19 was going to be the final one for the time being. They didn't even get to that. I didn't realize today was Thursday because there was no new Re-Rise. You can wait. You have to wait, Judd, because it takes me like 3 days to make one at the rate I do it. Plus, I'm running low on paints that I use to paint them. So, I mean, I can do one eventually, but I can't do another one right now. I'm too distracted. I have to build other things, Judd. Anyways, questions real quick. Let me go over to this. So this was from the official Q&A post, which not a lot of people jumped in on. It made me sad. 23 people liked. I only got 11 comments, and several of those are my replies. So if you guys actually want to participate in Q&As, that would be great. I can't airbrush at the moment. Hand painting seemed like a good alternative. It's never a good alternative. I needed to actually spray paint earlier today, and I could not because it is so massively humid. I guess I could. It just wouldn't be as good as I wanted it to be. Okay, so I'm going to start out with Gigi Easy Reyes. And it was, what are your top 5 HG gym suits? Now, that's a hard one to answer because I think I've only built 5 gym suits. And I did ask, and it specifically meant gyms or GMs. So let's go with Jim. Probably the best one just because that was like a really, really good one. Even though not a real gym. Then there's also Jim Thunderbolt. So that's Jim Thunderbolt, Ground Type Jim, which is a really good kit. Then Jim Sniper 2. That's a good one. Let's see, who else? Yeah, I did the counting earlier. I think I didn't get enough of them. Who am I missing? Now, see, the problem is that there's a lot of things that are like gyms that aren't, because they're not classified as a gym. They gave them their own name, but they're still an RGM. But also the fact that, like, I didn't build a lot of those. Because, like, the Blue Destiny 1 is very much like a gym, but based off of a Gundam, but not classified as a Gundam. So it's just a Blue Destiny Unit 1. So it's kind of a gym. Do you think the H2 Magnum is worth buying? Oh. I haven't built it. Do you mean the MG? What are you doing, computer? Why are you doing weird things? Okay. If you mean the MG, probably. The HG was fine. That's the only one I did. Did I have more gems? I thought I had more gems. I have to look. No, I think that's the only gems I've got, to be totally honest. Let's just say I pulled it up earlier. There's a couple other gems that are nice. Gem Command is usually a good one. So there's only so many HG gems. So favorite ones are kind of a hard thing to do. I built it, and other than a little bit of finicky transformation, it's good kit in my opinion. Yeah. I mean, H2 is very finicky in transformation and can get a little floppy, but if you like the Magnum, I say get it. You know, if you think the Magnum's a cool thing, get the kit. That's all I can tell you. The HG is just fine. I'm surprised they haven't done the special version just yet. I'm not even going there. That answer was already done, Rexia. The show answered that. Okay, Antonio Freitas, I'm going to save his question for last because it's a long one. Calvin J, I did answer this, but I'm trying to figure out what WHT means. I think that's supposed to mean what the hell or why the hell. I think he just screwed something up there. So it's why the hell is the box upside down? I'm a God damn it. Recent subscriber, by the way. There's a lot of syllables there. Got some cotton mouth. The box is upside down because the box goes upside down. Simple as that. If you ever actually check out my about section on the channel, I do answer some actual frequently asked questions or comments. So those are there, including what the favoriteest dark gray ever is. So if you ever need to know those answers, it's in the about section. Androius, hi Shock. Just one more letter. That's all you need. One more letter. I shouldn't even address this because I don't know who you're talking to. What's your main diet during the lockdown? Still eat a whole lot of meat. I can't tell if he's trying to make fun of me or asking a legit question. I honestly, main diet has not changed except for potentially having more hamburgers than I was, because cooking gets really old when you're having to cook every meal every day, and then you have to keep doing dishes along the way. So we actually got Chick-fil-A tonight, but basically I've had a whole lot of Sonic lately, like a lot, because it's on the way home. It's super easy. They're one of the more stable fast food places where you're not kind of questioning what you're getting or if it's going to suck today. It's like if you get a crappy hamburger at a Sonic, it's usually like, what the hell? Like, this is random. Some of the Whataburgers around here, it's just like, yeah, this is going to suck. Chick-fil-A is good. Cane's is good. But we've just been eating normal, nothing out of the ordinary, regular old eating way too much diet. Definitely been depression eating, just trying to deal with anxiety and depression, and usually eating is the best way to do that. It's not a good way to do it, but it's what happens. I've definitely put on weight, so we got to start exercising again. Because I got to pass my physical here in a few months at the end of summer, and I need to lose like 30 pounds to easily do that. And it's not German gray, Eric. Because the box is always upside down. Exactly, Judd. Judd knows, and he's only been here for like a little while. And he was asking what was the deal with the lame pictures that he sent. So whenever there was that post about sending in some pictures of your builds and it said for the chicken, that was for a project that has been sidelined probably indefinitely. The chicken did work on it, and I had started editing. He can't. He's only got feathers. He can't really manipulate the keyboard. So in editing it, it wasn't as good as he thought it would be. So I think we're gonna wait until some other stuff gets out of the way, and then try it again. Because it didn't come out as good, and the chicken definitely doesn't want to put out any bad products, so to speak. It's the best gray. It is not the best gray. Um, um, okay, so Arturo, have you ever had a burnout on building model kit? If so, how have you dealt with it? Okay, so the biggest case I've had a burnout was the um, Anubis, which is in the closet right there. I still have it for sale if anybody's interested. I have built half of it, got frustrated with it, and honestly, it's one of the only kits that I've quit. Like, I just not going to build it. As for just burning build out in general, it generally happens after Double October. Double October 2017 and 2018 and 2019 were so ridiculous that when I was done, I didn't want to build anything. I didn't want to build any Gundams. I didn't want to build anything at all. I was just so tired because I'd built so many kits in such a short amount of time. Usually the best case for burnout is to just relax. Don't mention that name. What are you talking about? So like you just whenever you burn out, you have to take a break. There's no way around it. You either need to just build nothing and go do something else to occupy yourself. Like in my case, I'll play with some Transformers or whatever. Or instead of a Gundam, because sometimes it's Gundams in general that burn me out, I'll build something else, like a Flame Toys kit or Figurized Standard kit, because they're not the same thing. They're very similar, but for some reason, it's a different mindset when you're building a different property. I don't know how another way to say that. Oh, Anubis, that's what you meant. Sorry, took me a second there. At least you finished yours. But like for burnout, like the hardest part is stopping in the middle of a kit because you don't want to pick it back up. And I know Eric definitely knows what that's like. But he also does full paint jobs and shit. So that's the hard thing. If I'm just straight building, then I'll actually take the time and go do like a really tough build or a really elaborate paint job or something like that to reset. You have to reset whenever you're burned out after a 3-month burnout on it. Yep. So, okay, for instance, like I wouldn't say I was burned out necessarily, but I did a couple MGs, did a whole bunch of Zaku's. So what do? I build something totally random, like a mini Tolf, or like this other thing that I've still never really shown off, nor have I finished, and now I'm using the paints for that to do other things. I need to finish that. So build something else, like find another creative outlet so that one, you're not having to follow a specific rule set or instructions. Like let your mind just be free. Like find something that you've always wanted to build, but do it from scratch. For instance, that's usually what I've been doing. It's like I just scratch build or a kit bash where there's no instruction, just crap laying around that I want to create. It's usually a good way to reset, especially if it takes a little while. Like I feel bad that Archie's been sitting over here. For anybody who hears me refer to Archie, that's Archie. He just sits here and doesn't get finished. Like I don't have an end goal for him. And also the color separation is actually pretty good. So it's like I have a hard time wanting to paint him because he looks fine with the way I built him. So yeah, just find another creative path, reset, and then come back. Now, if you're building just for you, that's a little bit different than me building en masse for reviews. My problem is review burnout. Like I just don't want to review anything. So there's times where I'll build a couple kits and I don't even show them to you guys because I don't want to review it. I just wanted to build something. And that's happened. And usually the patrons get to see those things and I'll come back later and I'll show it off. That happens a lot. Blazing Mewtwo, how are you? I got that's the first question. I'm okay. My throat's probably going to be a little bit sore after all this. drinking some Chick-fil-A sweet tea. Is the most talking I've done since we didn't do a live stream in the last 2 weeks. I guess it's 1 week. So, oh, dang it, I cannot click on the right thing. It's over here. Okay. Blockio wanted to know my most favorite thing, mobile suit, character, plot point, anything from your least favorite Gundam show and vice versa. Well, if anybody knows that my least favorite Gundam show would be G Gundam, and I don't care. You can be mad at me. I don't give a shit. It's a terrible show. I don't have enough interest sunk into it to have a favorite thing from it, if that makes sense. I mean, like, part of me wants to say some of the suit designs are okay. I guess. I mean, like, I don't know. Like, the funny thing is, I think the coolest design thing from that series is the Devil Gundam, especially like the higher up it gets. And it just starts getting ridiculous, and the heads are popping out of everywhere and stuff like that. So I guess that would be my technical favorite thing from that. I don't know. Either that, or if I want to spin it, I like the things that have come about because of that show. So, like, Build Fighters Try, when Sekai does the kind of shining finger, burning finger, whatever, to the denial. So if you want to like tail in that around to be like, that's the coolest thing about G Gundam, if that it gave me a cool moment like that, or the moment from Dragon Ball Super Abridged where they did the where Trunks did the sword of mine burns with a righteous power, whatever. That speech, like, I know that's from G Gundam, but I like what they did with it. So does that make sense? Like, my favorite thing about that is better stuff that was inspired by it. Is that meta? Nothing gets better than Windmill Gundam. It's all stupid. It's all stupid. And I've always said, if I grew up on it and I saw it back when I was a kid, you know, when it first came out, I would probably feel different. It would probably be right up my alley. I tried to watch it as a 30-year-old. That doesn't work. That's one of those things you don't go back to and like be able to like justify it when there are so much better aspects to Gundam. I'll get to that in a minute, Ben. Now, I assume, you know, when he says vice versa, I assume he means what's the least favorite thing from my favorite series. Well, if we're gonna say IBO would be my favorite series, probably like Double O and IBO are like right there, but for different reasons. The least favorite thing about IBO would be the pacing of season 2 and the fact that they plowed through a story that easily could have been a whole season. Like, first half of season 2 could have been its own season, and the second half could have been the finale and done like a whole third season. So the pacing and the crammed nature of the story, not that the story was bad, just how they did it was bad. Too much in the way of time skips and jumping from here to here, just like, and then some in betweens that could have been expanded on, things like that. Yeah, taking a little bit longer to tell the story instead of rushing through it. I hate when things do that. Game of Thrones did the same thing in the final season. Opinion on Perfect Grade in general. Perfect grades are fine if you like really big things. I have a Perfect Grade Exia. I like it. I never do anything with it. Just sitting down there in a basic standing position. I would get more perfect grades if I wanted to invest that much more money. I feel like it's easier when you don't have to do this. Like, mind you, like I already had a half of my collection before I started doing YouTube, so half of this was bought probably with the purpose of just reviewing stuff. So perfect grades are not something I can afford to buy and review all the time. I do like them. I just don't need to have them, if that makes sense. Um, and they do time skips in other shows, but as long as they're told, if it's told well, it's fine. Um, but when a story feels rushed because of a time skip versus time skip being a narrative tool, which is what it is, that's my problem with it. Going back to the previous question about how many Gundam kits do I think I have? I don't remember who said it, but I saw the question. Travis. Well, let's count. I'm just kidding. I'm not really going to count. If I had to guess, especially with how packed some of these are, maybe 130, 140, maybe more. I mean, HG's packed so tight in these things, it's really kind of hard to navigate. So hold on, let's just do one shelf of HGs and go from there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so there's at least 11 just in that one shelf right there. So I can guarantee you I've got anywhere from 2 to 11 in most of these spots. 9 times 4 is a number I can't think, 27, right? Right? So let's see, anywhere from 2 to 11, call that an average of 6 times 27. So yeah, somewhere in the 130 range, 140 range, just depending. Not to, oh yeah, plus I guess you want to call all the other non-Gundam kits that are over here, Transformers, Figurized Standard, stuff like that. So somewhere in that range, Seems like way more. I'm going to tell you that right now. I usually build one PG a year max. I enjoy it when I build them. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed Exia, even though I built it in like 19 hours. I don't know, Thomas. I'm fine. And I don't know if I'm going to do any RG Gundam reviews. I have one RG pending. And if right now, I don't even know if there's going to be hardly anything to do for Double October. I've got 2 SD kits. I got 2 SDs. I've got one totally off the wall thing. And then the Kyrios, which will be coming out, which I guess I'll hold on to for Double October, or rather, I'll build, review, and then that'll be in Double October. Because there's like no re-releases on HGs that I need, or 1-to-100s. The MGs aren't cranking out really fast. There's some RGs, but they're not readily available at the moment, or else I would definitely do some of those. Maybe could scrounge a Trans Am kit here or there, but like as opposed to the previous years where I could at least get 20 some odd reviews, I might get 10 this year. So Double October 2020 is going to be a hard year. Yeah, no, I mean, my deal with RGs, they're a little more expensive than HGs. The detail is fine, but most of them are things I've already built. And I used to have this rule that I don't build multiple grades of the same suit. Now, I've broken that rule with a few things, such as Unicorn or Exia, and very specific. I've got SD, HD, MG, PG of Exia. I don't have the mega size, but that's also not easy to get a hold of. But I don't like to have a whole lot of this representations of the same suit. I like to mix it up. So There's that. If I could get any of the no grade 1/100 kits, I would. They're just not available anywhere. And I would like to review them, except that, you know, people I know that had them kind of failed me on bringing them over to let me review them, with the exception of last year where, oh God, I feel bad because I can't think of his name. Dude brought that one over, and then he brought a really bad Curios. Like somebody had hand painted it extremely badly, and it was missing parts. So I at least got to check out Virtue. That was cool. And yes, I do think that the MG Virtue is going to be very much based off of that, but they can upgrade the engineering on the inside. I'm bored. I'm just kit bashing stuff into my frame arms girl. I had to scrap the MG red frame and force impulse. Why did you do that, weirdo? Yeah, I mean, I've looked at your RGs. I mean, like, but building them is another story. I don't mind looking at them. You know, it's just, do I need to have more of them? Like, I've got the RG new, but do I need to build that? I've built the MG new. Verka. All right, so let me go back over to the questions I already have, and then I'll come back to the chat. Okay, so Antonio decided to ask a bunch of questions. And I think he changed something. Hold on. Those are the only two worthy RGs. I built the Wing Zero custom, which just didn't do anything with it. Okay. Okay. I don't really think anything of them. Okay, to answer your question there. All right, so here's two. What's your ideal Gundam story, i.e., what does it take for you to make a good Gundam story? Does it have to be 1 year war focused? No. Does it have to follow principal characters of the original? No. Can it be fantasy, build divers, or hard reality, a MS team? Or B, how's the contest going? The contest is going a little bit less than anticipated, but I also know that not everybody who entered has submitted, so that's one thing. Though it does look like it is going to be less of a contest than previous year, unless a ton of entries come in out of nowhere. So there's that, but I guess in the end run, it means that there's going to be more prizes left over. Like, as far as I know, I don't even have to have Gundam Planet do anything. Like, I don't believe there's any out of the box or beginner entries. I think there's just intermediate and advanced, if I remember correctly. I'll have to double check. So that's sad. But also, it kind of hit at the worst possible time. See, global pandemic, people are running out of money. So, yeah, that's also why I haven't done the charity streams to try to raise more money for it, because I know other people have done it for different reasons. But, like, for me, it's like, okay, I'm going to sit here and ask you guys for more money when everyone's hurting for money right now, including myself, you know. Hence why I'm selling off an old car. But back to the other question. Ideal Gundam story. It should be war, based on some form of war. Doesn't have to be centric to the UC at any way. The UC only functions because it's gone on for so long. It's a lot harder for a brand new story to pick up. But it's obviously got to have a conflict. Oppressive side, resistance side, main protagonist. Of course, you know, all the things. So, I mean, IBO was a very, very, very good anime and a very good Gundam story, because it followed the normal beats of a Gundam story, but with the kind of twist ending. And I say kind of because some stories have ended in a similar manner, others have not. I mean, I really like Double O, but for different reasons than I like IBO's. Very similar concept, except for the idea that Double O pushes for global unity of humanity to move on as a species, whereas IBO is oppressed people fighting for their freedoms, which is very much the same as uh, like original Gundam to some degree. Obviously, we learned in Origin the way Xeon came about and everything like that. Like it should be. I like that it could be a complete story, but with a little bit of overhang. You know, there could be a little bit left to tell after the fact, but you don't have to. I just don't want a story that feels like okay, and that was great. So I mean, I don't think there's an ideal story for that as long as it stays within those beats. Like it's about the betterment of humanity. You got to have the conflict of some sort. Even Build Divers, Build Fighters has conflict, but for a different reason. And I'm still pissed that we never got a real finale to Build Fighters. And I think that's bullshit. It's like, hey, we're going to set up this massive thing, especially between different generations of the show. And then we're just never going to give it to you. Yeah, fuck off. Just we're going to just develop another series that's subpar and then build a fantastic series off of that subpar crap. Okay, and then there's another one here. It says bonus question, which what to do. So before I asked how you preferred designs of or designs of how a suit looks now, it comes down to factions. Fetty designs or Xeon designs, which are you more a fan of and why? I gotta write an essay. I think overall, I prefer the clean, hard lines of Fetty suits. And I think no, that's not even a good way to say that. Because I was going to say that like there's a bigger variety of Fetty suits. Like you can tell them apart more. But even that's not really true because you get all these different variations of a gem or a gun cannon, and really, what you're not really telling the difference between most of them. It's kind of a problem. It's like a lot of the Xeon suits all look like a Zaku of a different, stage of evolution. Like this is like the Zaku. It's like this one over here. And same thing for the Fetty side, but I think I prefer Fetty designs. I think I just always have. Even watching Origin and how they developed the Zaku Xeon side, I still prefer Fetty suits. I have way more. If that's any indication, I have way more Federation stuff than I have Xeon stuff. So I can go ahead and trim my beard to a normal length then, finally. Yeah, sorry, Judd. I didn't know you were kind of hanging on to your beard, so to speak. Actually, I just trimmed mine down last night, and I gave myself a haircut today. Wearing a mask all the time when your beard's a little long, and mine doesn't get super long, but it's like that. It gets pushed up into my lips, and that's incredibly annoying. Ozzy Deschapelle, hi there. Let's see here. There were some other questions in the chat. Since I thought there was. I'm going back. I'll come back. Shut up. Okay. Favorite mobile armor. Well, that's a problem because there's a lot of mobile armors. And I don't know them all. It's a problem. I'm actually a fan of the IBO mobile armors. I know that sounds like a cop out, but like the idea that they're AI controlled, they're kind of organic in their design. Obviously, designed like a giant bird. I don't agree with their purpose of basically wiping out humans on Mars. I really liked the design and I liked the conflict with said mobile armors. Now, there's obviously other really cool ones and other things that don't necessarily register as mobile armor. But I think like Neo Zeon is definitely one of the coolest. Either the first or second one. I really do dig them design wise. not to mention just completely absurd in size. But I think like just for the fun and almost invincible nature of the mobile armors, like if they had woken up the mobile armors on Mars but had no Gundams, aside from pulling out the Dying Slaves, there was no way they were killing that thing. They could not do enough damage, and with it constantly reproducing plumas, yeah, I mean they make their own army. They're nearly invincible. Like you have to have a Gundam or way more powerful than that to kill it. So yeah, wish they showed more of the mobile armors. Don't we all? Looks wise, they're some of the best. Yeah, new Ezreal, that's cool. Eric, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. There's some neat ones from when I say Gundam, I mean like the UC idea. What wasn't really a mobile armor. The thing from Age that was like a big robotic griffin gargoyle type thing that was protecting the. I forgot what it's called. They had it in Build Fighters as well. The dude built one. It's just like, yeah, this is my new thing. Cool. That was fun. Also AI driven, super impossible to kill, things like that. You know, for me, like mobile armor has got to be like obviously sentient. Sid, yeah, I guess that's what it was called. I thought it had a bigger name than that because I thought it combined with another thingy and got bigger. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I watched Age. Either way, any non-Gundam questions? I actually like non-Gundam questions because this is a very narrow focus of my life and nerddom. It might be half my room, but that means nothing. Gundam is like job. Like there's so much more. Like ask me other questions. Like there's movies, there's TV shows, there's just life in general. Oh, Rodimus chimes in. Big Zam does have legs for days. You can't buy the drill core from me, Eric. You're gonna have to find one. Mopar or GM? Mopar. Hardcore. Mopar guy. Mopar for life, motherfucker. Now, it doesn't mean I don't like GM. There's some really nice GM things. I was just having a discussion with my cousin the other day. If I could get an old truck from the late 60s, early 70s, it would definitely be a Chevy. Get an old Chevy square body, like C10, like the tricolor. So, like the orange over white over orange. Have it slightly lowered, single cab, long bed, LS powered. All the goodies in there. I want it to be like modern but look old and good. I think that's one of the better looking trucks. But cars, Mopar. Yeah. When Gundam Transformer crossover becoming a thing, it was already a thing. I did it. Go watch my review on my Gundam Transformer crossover. Are you wearing pants? I'm wearing shorts, Judd. Who would wear pants? I live in Texas. We don't wear pants until it's below 30 degrees. Or you work in an office. Transformers model kits. What about them? They're up there. Or do you mean the KO versions? They're kits. They're not kits. Favorite Transformer? You mean like Transformer I own or character, Thomas? Favorite turtle? Ready or Slider? They're just cool. And pretty well, like they're pretty abundant. They're good pets. I like red-eared sliders. Bet you didn't expect that. Sorry, I've got sticky tack and it's getting full of things. Dang, it's still stuck to my finger. So let's see. Okay, so you want to know favorite Transformer I own? That's without a doubt Devastator. Let's just be honest here. Which you've never played with for, like, really, Thomas. Like, I know you'd be scared, but like you've never gotten to play with it. And like Transformer from like character point of view, probably Grimlock. Let's just be honest here. Although the more I learn about like IDW Transformer, like the way they fuck it, they expanded the universe and stuff like that, and more characters. There's more and more characters. Like Chris McFeely, I learn a lot of things from him. If you're not subscribed to Chris McFeely and you want to know more about Transformers characters, go do that. Favorite Naruto Sennin. It's like very specific there, Eric. Jiraiya. Duh. Who wouldn't choose Jiraiya? Opinion on later Game of Thrones seasons. What season do I think it started to go downhill? Well, the final season. Gotta tread lightly here. I know why the final season went downhill. And it was basically after what, episode 3? The Battle of Winterfell. After that, it was like prior to that, actually, I thought it was pretty fine. It's just that they had to rush to an end, and that sucked. They also had like not a whole lot of storytelling left in them, which sucks because they could have stretched it out more. But overall, like, I know why people hate it. I know why people are angry at it, but I'm more angry at the sped up storytelling, just like IBO. I would have liked to seen it stretched out, but the overall ending, I'm fine with. I'm not gonna say any spoilers for those who may want to watch it in the future, but I've talked about it before. I don't think it was as big a failure as people say it is. I think it was a failure in storytelling, not a failure of the story. I'll put it that way. Favorite Bunkai? Ooh, there's a good one. Easily. Yamamoto's Bunkai. Are you kidding me? The Captain Commander's Bunkai is so fucking ridiculous. He's got a four level Bunkai that at one point is burning so hot in every direction, it's just turning everything to ash. Come on. He can raise the dead of the people he's burned with his flames and come back as fire zombies. Are you shitting me? There's not a better Bunkai than that. And at one point, his shit is burning so hot you can't even see the flames of it, and it's just disintegrating anything near it. It's like being near the fucking sun. Are you kidding me? What's the best Ryujin Jaka? Yeah, Ryujin Jaka. Are you kidding me? What else? It's like, okay, so it took basically a god to level him. Are you kidding me? We're gonna see that down the line. They actually animate it. Hold on. I've seen these people playing with RC cars, but they steer them using hockey sticks. Do you know anything? What are you talking about? I don't know what that is. Oh, we can be friends, Eric? Is that we can continue to be friends because Jiraiya is the best? That shouldn't even be an argument. I mean, practically speaking, Orochimaru is the best because he's the only one who's still alive. Well, I guess in the story, Tsunade is not dead, but she's given up. But Orochimaru, as a Sannin, is technically the most accomplished. But Jiraiya is the best. Let's just be honest here. Like, probably the most useful. Got a badass, if not very sad death. Tsunade, just hot and super strong and supportive of Naruto. But yeah, Ryujin Jaka. Are you kidding? What would you say then? What's the best Bunkai? Gisei Kenpachi's, the one you only see for like 1 second before he breaks his own arm off because he can't control it. Turns into basically a demon. Favorite 80s cartoon besides Transformers? Gotta be G.I. Joe. I didn't see enough He-Man. Obviously, I watched some He-Man, but like I definitely watched more G.I. Joe than He-Man. Yeah, Ichigo's true Bankai, while awesome, literally going against a god who can rewrite reality in front of you. Yeah, I mean, like Kubo, I feel so bad for Kubo. I've talked about this before. He was so screwed. Like they were done with it. They just like, can we just finish this up? Hey, you've got 8 chapters to finish the story. Now I'm just throwing out a number. It's like, we know you'd love 40 chapters to finish the story, but we're kind of done with you. We want to get on to newer, better things. We're tired of your shit. So get to the end already. So all this build up with Ichigo's character, all this build up for the Zero Squad, everything that was built up all ends up coming down to basically a Deus Ex Machina. Literally just pulling out the ass of how they finally win. Once again, not spoiling for anybody who hasn't gotten that far in Bleach. Like I loved the idea of him finally coming to terms with his true power and his real history. I love that part of the story, but Kubo's trying to go One Piece, and they're like, you can't finish this. Shunsui. Wonder if they'll fix the story in the anime. I don't know about fixing the story versus being allowed to tell it. Shunsui. Why am I drawing a blank? Help me out here, Eric. Anybody know when we raise episode 19? Nope. They haven't said it. They don't know. That's the problem. Let's see here. There was a thing about it the other day, but I think it's no news is good news situation. Actually, that's entirely wrong. That's not what it is. I think like it's just they can't. I mean, like it sucks, but they just can't continue. I thought it was interesting because they said it was going to stop. I thought they said after 19. I guess it was at 19. Okay, that was gross. I apologize. Okay, so that was about episode 18. I'm just double checking their Twitter. So I mean, there was nothing posted today about any new episodes, so indefinitely. Sorry, Straw Hat Captain. Wait, his Bankai, that was or am I thinking of his Shikai? I can't remember what his Bankai was. I remember like he had his 2 swords and like he could play the games with them, like call out a color, and if he strikes that color, it'll do whatever. I don't remember what his Bankai was. It's been a while. I mean, I like Shinsui's character, but I mean Renji's true Bankai was pretty cool. Oop. Koraku Shinsui. Nope, that's fan fiction. That's not going to. See, now I'm looking it up because I couldn't remember. That's why I'm looking it up. I want to make sure I can remember. See, the problem is they did a lot right at the end. And like some of it was just going super fast. Because I thought I remembered one. I'm looking through the pictures to see if there's something there. Oddly enough, this doesn't talk about. Why does this not talk about his things? That's stupid. I know his was somewhat abstract, or others were ridiculous. What about was it not Urahara? What was her name? The medical one with the big like inflatable ray sword, and like whenever she was teaching Kenpachi. Well, I guess I really don't remember his Bankai like at all. Okay. Like I said, it's been years. So now I remember the fight when he was trying to kill that giant bird thing. But yeah, I definitely don't remember him using it. I'll have to go look at it and actually see it. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. I just figured he had one of those Bankais that almost always kills you. It's like that seemed to be a problem with a lot of them. Is like, hey, you want to go Bankai? Nah, you might kill me. All right, what else we got? If you could only listen to one album for the rest of your life, what album would it be? Good lord. Um, that's hard because there's a lot of good music. Favorite female character from Digimon franchise, Digimon's included. I'll come back to the music thing here in a minute, Judd. Favorite female from Digimon. Good. I'm gonna remember her name eventually. Hold on. As soon as I remember the name. Okay. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Give me a minute. I'm trying to remember her name. I know her face. I just can't think of her name. Give me a second. Oh, I'm on images. No wonder I can't find anything. Rika. Okay, I thought that was her name. So I liked Rika from Digimon Tamers. Personally. Favorite album for the rest of your life. I'm thinking, Judd. I'm thinking. There's some albums that I put in for like weeks on end back in the day. But I mean, music tastes evolve. Like there's things I could listen to all the time. Like I could just hear it at any given point and enjoy it, but something I'd only want to listen to forever. It would have to be something with enough songs on it so you don't get bored, but there's a long enough variety on it. I mean, like, I think Metallica S&M comes to mind first. So I'll just go with that. Could potentially kill the user. Yeah, most of the time. What's your favorite era of car design? I'm partial to 80s. God, dude, there's the problem with car design. I keep knocking this thing over on my foot, so I'm gonna move it. That's twice just today. Because every era changes fairly drastically. So, like, for a favorite car design that I could just always look at, because cars are mostly for looking at, let's just be honest here, 40s. Between the 40s and the early 50s, like most of the 50s, I should say, like big, swoopy, curvy designs, long bodies, um, things like that, full on boats, But there are some incredible car designs from the 30s, especially European. Um, like there's a Delahaye that is just, and I'm probably not saying that right, is just absolutely fucking gorgeous. But it depends on the purpose it's serving. If you want a cruiser and you want to have something that's great to look at the same time, you want 40s, 50s. If you want leaning into muscle slash sports car territory, you go 60s, you go mid 60s to early 70s, get that muscle car, pony car era. And that's the big squarish, more aggressive looking things. 80s, I think, is where they really started playing with some crazy stuff, and they're trying to figure out how to make a square look okay, a blocky brick look okay. Rolling into the 90s, where the 90s really started kicking it up, especially if you're going for Italians and Japanese. Italians, Japanese, and some other main European car companies really started banging it out in the 90s design wise, like super iconic designs. Bugatti's at the 30s. Yep. Telling you, man, like 30s had some long swoopy designs. Now 32 Ford, 32, 33, 34 Fords are like some of my favorite car designs ever, just depending on how it's done. But you get into like the 40s and 50s with some of the other things like Packards, some of the other lesser known car companies. Even I think in America back in the between the 30s, 40s, 50s, there was like 25 car companies or something like that, like small ones that were only producing like 300 cars a year, or maybe two designs ever. And then a lot of those merged to become other car companies, like how AMC came from like most of those other ones, just kind of thrown together with a little Mopar influence and things like that. So yeah, there's a lot of that. 80s design, beginning of all cars looking the same, no character, but hey, you like what you like. You're right. Oh, it's really funny. So I criticize a lot of things today, especially Chevys, all wanting to look the same. Even to the point the Camaro looks like the 1500 design wise, especially the HDs. And I think the new Camaro is hideous. The couple before that, much better looking. The newest Mustangs don't look as good as the previous generation because they shrunk the nose in the front end and like made it like curve a little bit more, and I really don't like it. Well, my autofocus didn't like that. But some of the coolest looking cars, both with looking ridiculous, having form and function are Italian, mostly Italian, and then a few Swedish supercars and hypercars of the 2000s and 2010s. Like anything from Pagani. Holy shit. I did see your question there, June and the 4th. Kind of went over that earlier. Favorite Gundam series is pretty much a tie between IBO and 00. Deng DCTV says tie HG. I don't know what you mean. But yeah, Rika was a badass there, Thomas. I liked Rika because she seemed to be a fully fledged female character, and other than I think like Kari in previous Digimon whatever adventure or whatever, there wasn't a whole lot of. I mean, like later seasons of that stuff, of course they got a bit more, but Rika stands out the most to me. What do you think of the Mustang Mach-E? I think they're wasting everyone's time. I'm sure it'll be stupid quick because it's an electric motor, but I think it's pointless. Now, what is that other Mustang that's definitely an SUV and no one should ever buy it so that they learn their lesson? Like, that's kind of the thing with me. It's like, okay, they design stupid vehicles for stupid people and slap a name on it. Like, I don't know what they did to the fucking Mitsubishi Eclipse. Yeah, go to hell, Mitsubishi, on that one. And I think they quit making the Evo because they hate us. Does Bumblebee suit Camaro? I'm not sure what you mean. Or do you mean that Bumblebee more suited to being a Camaro? I don't know. That's a weird one. Street Mini 4-wheel drive racing. Oh. Things with hockey sticks. I have no idea what you're talking about. That's weird. I don't know what that is. Does Bumblebee suit Camaro? I don't know. I didn't have a problem with him being a Camaro. I like him better as a Bumblebee, or as a Volkswagen, obviously. But I don't think the Camaro's bad. I think they overdid it a little. I feel like he could have gone to a different alt mode, especially in the final ones where they're like trying to hide out. Like, hey, maybe pick one that they don't know to look for. You can change your alt mode, you know. It's like, I get that they have to pick a vehicle that's remotely in their size class of robot. So that's kind of crappy, even though they have mass shifting ability. They just kind of, we gotta make it fit all in the same. Yeah, the Eclipse Cross, go to hell. That's not an Eclipse. Even the previous Eclipse wasn't that good of an Eclipse. Also, I'm amazed that allowed you to cuss in the chat. Usually it blocks that. Personal dream car. Depends on the what. It depends on the function, Eric. Because I have it. Each dream car I have has to fit its function. Like, if I wanted an overall dream car, it would have to be like a, you know, an all-wheel drive 4-door super or turbocharged vehicle, so it has form and function and stuff. Like, there's nothing in specific that will do that, I don't think. Though I think there's a the Alfa Romeo Giulia, I think, is a gorgeous car and sounds mean as hell if you had the V8 version. So I might want an Alfa Romeo in the future. Not exactly affordable or probably reliable, but this is America. That's what we get. Where are the smart car transformers? What's really funny, Lindsay Ellis had that joke like a long time ago in the Transformers Age of Extinction review with Andre, because she has a smart car, so she like, they'd name it like IQ or something, and it would be a small. That's funny. Daily Dream Daily, damn it, Dream Daily and Dream Weekend. But see, here's the thing, that doesn't really suit a purpose. Like what I described before, you know, an all-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive four-door car with a lot of power, a lot of space, and looks pretty, that's a good everyday driver. You can use that for virtually anything, but you're always going to need a truck. So what do you do for a truck? I already said what kind of truck I'd love to have. I'd love to have like a 67 to 69 Chevy C10 long bed single cab, so I could haul stuff. With an LS, probably an LSX, bored out to about 400, somewhere thereabouts. Yeah. So I can push about 450, 500 horsepower with a ton of torque, but just be able to cruise with like a 6-speed auto. Something you want. Exotic dream car for me is a Diablo. Wouldn't want a Diablo. 98 Impala SS. You don't want a 98 Impala SS. They only made the one you're talking about from 94 to 96. So, and those are affordable because most of them are junk. But you could always buy a Caprice and then buy all the parts to make an Impala, except for you won't have the badging on the backside. Maloo. See, somebody is a Top Gear fan. Maloo is a great idea. Don't get me wrong. I don't think they make it anymore, or at least the variation of said thing. And I'm very sad that we here in America never got to experience it, even though we were like one model year away from getting that as a Pontiac. Stupidest thing GM ever did was get rid of their two profitable fucking brands to focus on the ones that were doing terrible. It's like, okay, rappers and wannabe rappers buy Cadillacs. Old people buy Oldsmobiles. It's in the name. And then Chevy is for, well, whoever has money. And GM, or GMC rather, is for people who don't want to buy the Chevy. Then they get rid of everything else that's not GMC, that isn't just a van or a truck. And then who the fuck cares? It's like Saturn, Pontiac, and whatever the other one was off the top of my head. There was another one they canned. But Saturn was like the line. And it was full of nothing but pretty good European cars. They could have canned the vehicles that sucked and like kept multiple lines. They just got tired of importing those specific vehicles, but then they turn around and did it again in their other lines and sold you the same exact car for more money with a shinier badge. Yeah, that's right. Hoonigan turned their Pontiac into a Holden Maloo. Yeah, I mean, why not? Just rebadging. You could do the same thing if you bought a Pontiac G8, or later the Chevy SS, the last thing we got that was a Holden based vehicle. You could import the front end, the headlights, all that stuff, the badges. I've seen one. There's one somewhat locally that swapped out for all the Holden stuff, and it was left-hand drive, so I knew it wasn't a full-on import. You could also possibly get the Vauxhall versions. But who wants to import something that's here? You could get some of those things in Mexico, which are really annoying. Like, I wish we could get Renaults here. I think Renaults have some really cool designs. I'll say it. Except we don't get them here. It's stupid. Okay, so exotic dream car. I mean, if we're just gonna go there, like, if I just have a full-on stunting vehicle, like, look at the fuck I've got, it would probably be a Pagani Huayra, like I can't remember the exact model because it just started running random letters and numbers after it. The Huayra, I think, is one of the best looking interiors and just one of the coolest looking vehicles on the planet. Not to mention stupid fast. But if I was going on like a ridiculous track day, it would have to be a Zonda R, because Jesus Christ. Even though I know there's cooler stuff out there. Like, if I wanted an everyday driver, somewhat supercar, I would definitely get a McLaren, because they look cool, sound cool, drive really well, somewhat reliable. and not as, I don't know the word. There's something about it. Like, you could get a McLaren and not feel like a douchebag, where there's some others that you're definitely gonna feel like a douchebag. Now, I would definitely take a Viper. We talked about this before. Pretty much any given model of Viper, I would take it just for fun. That would be a fun weekend car. Like, if I want to scare myself, but not have to take out my $300,000 hypercar, I would definitely get a Viper. Convertible would be kind of cool, except I like a Viper with a hardtop, to be honest. If it's not an original RT10, I want a Viper with a hardtop. Panteras are okay. I know people who have them. I used to go to car shows or car meets, I should say, all the time, and I knew people who had those. They're okay. If it came down to a vehicle like that, a not a not Lamborghini, as it were, I don't know what I'd rather have. But and this is going to sound ridiculous. I've said this before in a different thing. One of the best cars. It's fairly well affordable. You can have fun. Doesn't really. It's not an all rounder because there's not a lot of space. But just a freaking Mazda Miata or RX or MX-5. They're great cars. They're a lot of fun. I miss mine. I wish I still had mine. I would have done so much to it. It's like, if I still had my Miata, sadly I had to get rid of it back in 2009, 2010, whenever everything hit the fan. I had to sell my Miata. I had 4 cars back then. It's like, let's see, I had at least 2 Neons. I might have combined them together at that point. I had just gotten rid of my Thunderbird, but I think I had the Thunderbird and a Miata at the same time for a short amount of time. And I had my Galant. So at one point, I definitely had Miata, the running Neon, and the Galant. But I had 4 because I had both Neons. I had the one that I wasn't touching, and then I had the one that I did drive all the time. So I do miss my Galant too. That was a nice car, but it started to get bad. Viper ACR. I don't know about ACR. I think that's a little too rough. I think it's just a regular old Viper, if there is such a thing. Probably black and red, or white and red, white and blue. I don't know. None of the ridiculous colors. Nothing like the bright green. I saw a bright orange and black stripe one yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. It's probably why it's in my mind, but I've always loved the Viper. Now, if we're going old school muscle cars, then I've got to take a 68, 69, 70 Charger. Because, well, look at it. Preferably a 69, but I'm not going to turn down a 70. Anything past that, anything before it, don't want that. No, I want one of those. Give it to me. Yeah, thank you. Ram SRT10, not worth it. It's the better of the super trucks, so to speak, but I say better because it had a bigger. You could get the SRT10 in a 4-door with a normal bed, but it has a spoiler, which kind of screws up the thing. Lightning, I think, if I remember correctly, Motor Week did that comparison, and the Lightning, or maybe it was Top Gear. I don't remember who did that comparison. And the Lightning was technically the better truck, technically. But you could get more out of the SRT10. But you could get, the funny thing is, you could get a Ram with a V10. You didn't even have to get the SRT version. You could order it with the V10. Got to remember, the Viper motor is a truck motor that's tuned, or at least the old one was. They already had the V10s. They just didn't put them in anything. Then they tuned it up, made it a car like that. No, you could not. Somebody did. No, I'm sorry. Somebody put one in a PT Cruiser. I remember that a long time ago. But yeah, you would have nowhere to sit. You'd basically be sitting in the back seat. You could put a V8 or V6 in a Neon. No Ferrari for your dream car. Ferraris hold a special place in my heart. Don't get me wrong. I used to believe they were the best car in the world, especially for driving. If I'm playing a game like Gran Turismo or Forza, you better stick me in a Ferrari because I'm going to love it. A 458 is phenomenal. 430, fucking phenomenal. You start getting into like the Fs. Eh. I thought the Enzo was weird. Powerful but weird. I love Ferraris to look at, and I used to love driving them in that manner. I still get excited if I see one. But like I don't I feel like there's a tiny stigma with Ferraris. It used to not be there, but I feel like it's come around somehow. I don't know what it is. Like I still love them. And the funny thing is, I prefer the V8 Ferraris to the V12 Ferraris. Not that they do a lot of V12 Ferraris anymore. And the LaFerrari is just funny. I like the technology in it. I just think it's a weird car. I would definitely take the McLaren P1 over the LaFerrari. Cybertruck. Stupid. I think it's so stupid. I'm not gonna lie. I like the way Teslas look for the most part. I like the earlier Teslas before they changed the front end, and they look more like a normal car. So I guess for aerodynamics, they changed the front end. I think Cybertruck is totally stupid. I don't know. I think we're infatuated with electric cars, but I don't think they're really our future because it's not clean energy. You're definitely deluding yourself if you believe electric cars to be clean energy. In and of themselves, yeah, they're not polluting, but the infrastructure for electric cars still puts out pollution. We don't have a good, clean way to make electricity outside of nuclear power. Now, if we ever master fusion and we can make tiny little fusion reactors and we can have batteries that way, electric stuff all day. Sure. Hydrogen power should be the thing we reach for. If nothing else, hydrogen power plants, though scary as they would be, would make more sense. The most abundant element in the universe that we don't even have to harvest from our own atmosphere if we don't want to. You know, it's a thing. Have I got Goku Ultra Instinct? I do not. Wait, figure wise, yes, I have. I do have the. I have the Dragon Stars Ultra Instinct. So yes. Fallout did nuclear power cars. Different way. Like having a tiny nuclear reactor in your car, not a good plan. Having a steam powered car, which is essentially what that turns into, also not necessarily a good plan. If we could harvest geothermal properly, I'd say that. But all science fiction generally points to, oops, we killed the world by digging too deep, or we woke up something that's sleeping in the earth, or whatever. Isn't there a game or something like that where they actually create a man-made river that pours into like Old Faithful or just into the Yellowstone super caldera? That just makes endless power and keeps it from erupting. I'm down for that. That, you know, at least find a way to stop one world-ending event and also make electricity for everybody. I'm going to move my microphone a little bit here. Pedal cars. True that. Can I see? He's a little bit buried, or I would. He's up there on the shelf with everybody else. You can see the review if you want. You can go search it. Because I did. I also lightly shaded him a little bit. But now hold on. Let me double check which channel he's on. I don't know if he's on this channel or the secondary channel. Hold on, please. Oh, I have a loot chest ready to be opened. I've been playing PewDiePie's Pixelings. Shut up. Yes, okay. The Ultra Instinct Goku is on this channel. So if you just go to my I think I have a Dragon Stars playlist. You can see that review. If you're interested. I have no idea because I don't know what Magus XLR is. I mean, I know what it is, but I've never seen it, so I can't. Hello, Mr. Tattooed Toy Hunter person. Jack of Blades. I've been on our Flintstone cars are most fuel efficient. Actually, they're not, because people-powered cars, in that case, you have to input calories, which means you're going to get weaker as you get more tired, and your car is going to get harder to push. So you have to eat more plus rest to recharge your battery, as it were. So people-powered cars are actually incredibly fuel inefficient. And you got to eat, which means you got to fart or poop, which means you're putting out a lot more methane and other gases into the air. Now, if everybody's in a foot-powered car, one, imagine rush hour traffic. Like, it's going to be terrible, you know, because then you're going to be able to smell everyone's farts and bad breath. And you won't have a radio because it's, you know, Flintstones. Magus XLR base custom. What car would you use as the head and what would be the body? I don't know. I don't even know what that is. Mr. Tattooed Toy Hunter, we're talking things. Walking is the future. Okay, I believe that. I believe that everything will just be so close you could just walk to it. You know, there won't be a need to go anywhere for things. Well, let's just be honest here. We're all living in a simulation anyways. I think it's kind of weird that if you look at it with the rules to the simulation, technically speaking, you have to kind of will it into existence, which is kind of scary. But yes, so that's why I love these theories. This is why foot-powered / Flintstone cars are the most fuel inefficient things on the planet. Now, you can't, Top Gear proved that you can run a car off human poop. Technically speaking, off of the gas released from said human poop. But if I remember correctly, I think the cow one actually won that. Either way, the Matrix is real. Could be. If you go watch the Star Talk where they talk about simulations or simulation theory, and he breaks it down. But the one thing that they said in argument to simulation theory. Okay, so if humanity reaches a point that we've evolved to the point of our technology, we can create a computer, one that's an AI that's probably way better than anything we could ever come up with. It has the processing power and the memory space to simulate any and all human interaction, period, for a countless number of people. It would have to. You know, so in an indefinite storyline starting way back when. But the thing is, the main point they said, so if you look at it in the way of movies, people who create movies write stories, mostly movies. You don't have a whole lot of things to take place now. It's almost always in the past or in the future, because you either have historical events that are interesting and you aren't living that. So, like, why would they choose this chunk of time to represent? If you could go anywhere in all of human history, like, why would you choose now for simulation? They did it in the Matrix because it was the one where people were the most happy because Well, if you watch the Matrix, the history of the Matrix, stuff like that, you know, we kind of reached a peak of human civilization. So it was all kind of just more tech, but humanity sucked more until our war with with the robots. Just go watch the Animatrix; it's great. There could be an expansion pack, or is it a pop up ad that went wrong? That's what it is. Uh, Poop Mobile. First of all, you put Poop Mobile, not to be confused with the Pope Mobile. I like the Pope Mobile. I don't know if he's upgraded it at all in the last couple popes, but it's a thing. Also, who paid $29.99 for that? When they can get you to sign up for a year for $4 a month. $4.99 a month, first month free, sign up for a year. Or buy it now for $39.99. I'm gonna go for the $4.99 a month, even though it's actually gonna cost me $60 at the end of the year. Adware. Yep. Pretty much. Somebody didn't have their pop-up blocker on. Why am I getting Facebook notifications? What is happening? Nothing. Got it. Okay. Oh, wait, what was that? Yeah, nothing important. Just looking. All right, guys. So I've been doing this for quite some time. We've answered a lot of questions. If you guys are new here to the channel and first time ever popping into a thing, by all means, hit that subscribe-ish button. And of course, you were asking questions about the thing. Silent Hill people literally willed gods into existence. Well, how else would you do it? And somebody's asking about the Dragon Stars thing. Go check out the review. They're there. Secondary channel has a bunch of them too. If there's doubles, it's a thing that happened. It's okay. Tomorrow will be the Mini Tolf review slash build log, kind of. I didn't take enough pictures, but I try to explain the best on how I built it. So, and at the end, I challenge you guys to build your own Mini Tolfs to show off. And I haven't uploaded it yet because I need to do that now, which is why I need to get off. But guys, thanks for coming and hanging out with me and asking questions and or answering questions. Somebody did one of those two things. But I will catch you on the next one. And hopefully Sunday we will be doing the live stream. Sunday seems like it's going to be a busy day. If you're in the nearby area and you're going to be dealing with severe weather this weekend, please be safe. It's going to be pretty nasty out there. And I'll see you guys later. Remember, as always, keep on nerding. Keep on building. And let's keep building this community together. We're over 6,200 now. Yay! That awkward moment when I haven't pushed the button again.